The Fearless Social Podcast is proudly sponsored by ScriptDoll.com. Want to write professional sales copy, email campaigns, and video sales letters for your product or business? ScriptDoll makes it as easy as answering a few questions. To try ScriptDoll for just $1, visit ScriptDoll.com and enter promo code PODCAST. And now, this week's episode. Hey, Ben Atkins here, and welcome to another edition of the Fearless Social Podcast. Another request. We are getting lots of requests. We are starting to get a little popular on iTunes, which is cool. So getting a lot of requests from folks. And if you have a request, feel free to visit us at fearlesssocial.com or just jump over to iTunes and leave us a comment and let us know. But one of the requests that we got in the last little bit is someone who has sort of heard my origin story. Is they wanted to know sort of, how we have built up businesses over time. And we've come up with lots of really clever ways, but there was a way that someone heard me somewhere talk about, I don't know if I was on stage at an event or if I just mentioned it in passing in one of our courses, but there was a thing called the red envelope technique. And this is something that has just sort of been awe-inspiring to a few people. And several people have actually hit me up since we started this podcast and wanted us to do a podcast on it. So I thought, hey, what the heck? Why not teach how we grew my chiropractic practice using this cool little method called the red envelope technique. So let me dive in. Let me get started. I don't want to waste any of your time because I know you're busy. But this is something that when I first got started with my chiropractic office, we sort of came up with this thing out of the blue. And it was a method for us to get people into my office and get them to stick around and come back. Sort of the big thing with most businesses is just getting people in the first time. If you got good people on your team, if you deliver a service or a product that's extremely valuable, then you're in a really, really good place. But one of the hardest things is to get them through the door the first time. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of stuff out there that people don't know what to believe. But if they can just get through your door, then it really, really works. So I'm going to tell you the story of how we actually did this in my chiropractic office using this thing called a red envelope. And after that, I'm sure you can figure out a way to apply it to yours. So when I first started, before I got into digital marketing and selling stuff on the internet, I was a chiropractic physician. Went to school for like 8 years to do this. Went to a school in St. Louis. And when I got out, unfortunately, it was not one of these things where people were just flocking to come to my business. They didn't know who I was. I was in a town that was not my hometown, but I wanted to make it, and I came up with some very interesting ways to do that. So I was a chiropractor, right? And as a chiropractor, I can't offer discounts for my services. That's actually against the law. So I had to come up with some very interesting ways to get people through the door. So what I did was I had a massage therapist, and the massage therapist in my office did a great job. Very, very good. And this massage therapist was someone who could do some interesting things. So what we started doing is we started offering a 15-minute chair massage for free. All right. So sort of the idea was we would get on Facebook and we would do this very limited sale. So we would do like when I say sale, they didn't actually spend any money, but they would opt in. And when they opted into our email list, they were eligible to actually get a free 15-minute chair massage. So if they'd never been to our office before, this was a nice way to get them in the first time with no risk to them. Okay, so they would come into the office. It was a 15-minute chair massage, but how this sort of worked is we would go in and post on Facebook, and the post would say something like, get a free massage from Atkins Chiropractic. All you have to do is be one of the first 10 people to opt in here. So they would go to a page. It was just an email page, opt-in page. They would opt in. And when they opted in, we would tell them, hey, you've got 48 hours to actually claim your massage. And we, of course, had an email autoresponder sequence that would back that up and send them emails. So what happened is they would see this page or they would get the emails, saying, hey, you're eligible for this free massage. Call this number to book one of the last appointments now. They'll go fast. So they would get in, they would opt in, they would be eligible. They would call our office and book their appointment. So we would get all these calls from this, stuff on the internet. They would come in and they would book their time. If they didn't book their time, we didn't think, hey, we've got anything out there, because we had an autoresponder that says, if you don't book by this time, you'll lose your spot. So the people that actually booked, we had more people that got on the list than people that actually booked. However, we still had that email list. So every time the new opt-in would come through, we would just send back to the list and say, go here again. And we put them through the process. But what happened is they would call in, they would book an appointment. So they would come in and they would see our massage therapist. Now, keep in mind, something important happens here. The first time they come into our office, they're disoriented. They don't know, okay, is this really free? Is there a catch? They would say this on the phone. Is there a catch? To say, no, it's free. So they would get really used to talking to our receptionist. They would hear the voices. They would come through, meet everybody on our team. I would casually stop by and say, hey, I'm the doctor here. I'm glad you're here. Enjoy. Nothing too crazy though. But maybe once or twice I would jump in and, say, hey, this is sort of what you got going. If you have any medical history that's a problem. No. Okay, cool. So massage therapist will be in to take you. So I would make sure I met them when they came in just so they would get comfortable with me. So what happens is this, they would go in, they would sit down, we would do a 15-minute chair massage, which always was amazing. People would walk out just blown away because we had such a good therapist. And then on the way out, we would offer them, a snack. We had some things waiting for them. And pretty much they would come up to the front every time and say, do I owe anything? Like, no, you're good. But here is a red envelope. And this is where things get really funny. So the people on my team would present this red envelope and they would basically say this, and it would actually say this on the envelope: do not open this envelope until you get home. Okay, so my staff would say it. It was written on the envelope: do not open this until you get home. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm pretty sure nobody ever actually made it all the way home before they opened this. They got out to their car and they opened it, right? So here's what the envelope basically said. Now, keep in mind, they just come off meeting us, good experience, had a great experience with their massage. It was free, no catch, but they get this envelope and the envelope says, we want you to come in again for a full 1 hour massage. And usually the 1 hour massage is $70, but you can get it the full hour for half off, 50% off if you call within the next 48 to 72 hours. I can't remember the exact time, but it was something where they had like, I need to call. And what's nice is we had about a 70% close rate on that. If you came in for the first massage and you got that red envelope and you opened it up and saw the letter, then odds are you were coming back in. And the thing is I knew if I could ever get anybody in for that second time and they crossed the threshold twice, there was a lot of bonding that was going on in their head. They trusted our business. They got good stuff from our business. It was always a pleasant interaction, and it was good. Now, here's what's interesting. Over time, these people maybe had never been to a chiropractor before, but over time, because they were so comfortable with our chiropractic office, because they'd come in for a free massage, they'd come in for a discounted massage, maybe they had continued, and we had a lot of people that continued and pay full price after that for massages. But the idea was, after that, they were comfortable with me. So if they ever got to a point where they thought they needed a chiropractor, and through, our staff, when they would interact with them, they could educate them on problems. So if they saw the therapist and they had headaches, the therapist could educate them on, okay, maybe this is something that the doctor needs to look at. We didn't push it. It was only if they had a problem. But the idea here was that they got comfortable with our business through that funnel. So we eased them into the process. And what's nice about this is not only did we have a 60 to 70% close rate on them coming back for the discount, but we had a ton of people come back and actually get more massages. But the most important thing for me was this. We also had a ton of people that, because they got comfortable with the office through that process, they ended up booking and becoming a patient with me in the long term. So that was the process. We had this red envelope that, once they had sort of experienced our stuff for free, gave them a huge incentive to come back in, to call our office, to book again. And I knew once they crossed the threshold through our door the second time, that they were bonded to our business, and it was somewhere that they would return even when we didn't give them a discount in the future. And it would also turn into business for me. So I've had a lot of people, since I've taught this a few times from stage, I've had a lot of people do this in the car industry. I've had a lot of people do this in real estate. Lots of really interesting applications to this. If you do this and you use the method that we just put into play and we just taught, send us a line. Let us know. So I hope this is something that was interesting to you, and you got some great ideas about how you can put this into your own business, whatever it is that you may do. I'm Ben Atkins. Thanks for listening to the Fearless Social Podcast. Of course, if you really liked us and this is something that's helped your business, subscribe. You can do that on iTunes, and that means we will be delivered to your phone or wherever you listen to us automatically when a new episode comes out. Also, if you dig our podcast, please leave us some feedback. Go to iTunes, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Rate us and tell us what we're doing right. Give us some suggestions about what you'd like to hear in the future. All right, Ben Atkins here. If you have any questions, you want more from us, go to fearlesssocial.com. I'm there, and we got lots of other great stuff that you can use to grow your business. All right, I will see you on the next episode. Want to add 50 to 100 targeted leads per day to your business? Meet Birdsong, the most powerful email list building app on the planet. Visit fearlesssocial.com/birdsong and watch the video to see how you can use Facebook and the Birdsong app to get 50 to 100 targeted leads per day for free.